Kyle, I didn't realize that was loud. You're approaching sort of the last couple of weeks here of the regular season. As you have gone through this extra year, has it so far been what you wanted it to be? How has this year matched up to what you hoped it would be when you decided to come back?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, there's been ups and downs just like there is with every season. But, I really enjoy this group of guys. We get on the floor, we work hard together, we leave the floor and we're the best of friends. So just spending this year with them and the coaching staff, it's been great, and I'm excited to finish this thing out the right way, but just got to keep working here till the end of the season.
One of the things that Coach Holtman mentioned about last week, I was after the Michigan win, he said that it's becoming a player-led locker room and how you need that to have success at this point in the season. How have you seen that in your different years here as far as guys taking ownership of the team as you get to this part of the season, and how do you think this team is in that regard?
Yeah, I think that's important. In years past, it tends to be the older guys. It's not always the seniors, but it tends to be the older guys, that are leading the way with that. And it's really, just by, leading by example every day, how we're supposed to work and practice at this time of year, paying attention to the important things, the small details, something that we've been working on, like I've mentioned a bunch of times, is defense. Coach has been, really pressing that on us, especially the past few games, and I think we've been able to respond pretty well. But that starts with us, the older guys, and doing that in practice, and showing the younger guys how important that is, and like what that's going to mean for us, down the stretch. So at this time of year, I think it's big for the older guys to step up and just, lead by example and be the voice for the younger guys as well.
Kyle, you mentioned defense, and what has clicked for you guys, especially in the last two games? I know Coach was saying that you guys were watching some film from a few of his other teams at Ohio State, and what type of things was he showing you in those clips, and then what has worked so well for you guys here lately?
Just having it mean more to us, really, would be what it comes down to. Taking more pride on that end of the floor. We were struggling a little bit there defensively, but what it comes down to is just our communication, I think, was huge for us. Attention to detail with scouting report, but really just having it mean more. And I think, over these past few games, we really, everyone's been bought in, and I think it's shown with, the results. So.
How are you holding up physically? I mean, obviously you've dealt with injury issues in the past, but it seems like this has been your, maybe your healthiest season. Of course, there was the thing at the beginning of the year, but and I know you guys are also about to go on a pretty grueling stretch here in terms of a lot of games in a short period of time. Just wondering, how you're holding up.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Soreness as usual, but playing a lot of games. It happens, especially this time of year. You'll hit a point like that, but overall pretty good. I feel like I've had a pretty good year in regards to that. So, just got to keep up with rehab, stuff like that for my body, and body maintenance, all that good stuff, and just keep it rolling.
One of the things Ryan Peden, and this is kind of going back to what you were first talking about, but Ryan Peden said the other day that with the older guys, it's more like, you're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of your college basketball career. And I'm curious, is that something that's real to you? Is that kind of the reason why it's getting to a point where it's the player-led team and that ownership? Is that kind of the reason why you would say?
I don't know too much. It is I've been here 5 years, so I've been playing for a long time, a lot of miles on my body, but still, unsure about, what I want to do after this. This is the end of my college career, so, it does kind of, make you realize, a lot of us are going to be done, playing college basketball after this year, so, there's just a little bit more importance to it, a little bit more, intensity to what we're doing every day, just because, you do see that. So I think coming into work every day, we realize there's stuff we do need to get done. We don't want to waste time because, here in about a month, we're going to be, done with college basketball. So, we want to finish the right way. So. How do
you get younger guys to? They may not. They don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that they're at yet.
Yeah.
How do you get them to buy into that mindset, even if they may not have been in your shoes or this situation?
Yeah, you can always, talk to them about it, obviously, express that with your voice. But like I was saying, leading by example is huge right now because, if you're out there, working super hard on the floor every day, even in practicing little drills, getting on people by, got to go 100% on this drill, even though it might not seem like it means that much, it can go a long way. So if they see, they see the older guys doing it, like it's just easier to, you know, catch on to. And that's like when I was younger, you know, just from experience, seeing the older guys go through that stuff and how hard they were working, it just made me want to work that much harder. So knowing that, you know, just trying to lead by example has been big for us.
I asked Joey last week, he's a sixth-year guy.
Mm-hmm.
There are freshmen on this team. He said, I think he was graduating high school when they were going into 8th grade. How do you relate with, I mean, you're not quite a 6th-year, but how do you relate with some of the young guys on this team? I know you had a year with Michi last year, but just relating with guys that are significantly younger than you are at this point.
Honestly, you know, a lot of times just trying to share my experience with some of the stuff I've been through. If I see, you know, similar things they're going through or similar struggles or similar victories, you know, just ways to, you know, let them know how to get through those moments and, you know, talk to them about it, because there's a huge age difference. Like Joey did mention that to us the other day, and we never really thought about it like that, so it was just funny. But yeah, just really trying to, you know, share experiences that I've had with them so they can kind of, you know, do their best to get through it. And yeah, we're all pretty close on this team, so we've developed a pretty good relationship with all the guys, and, you know, we're happy to be around each other all the time.
And not to bring up something I'm sure you're aware of, but your shooting hasn't been where I imagine you wanted the last few games. How much is value to you the other things that you bring to the court when that's not going down for you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I've always said, it's just, you know, whatever I can bring to the table at the time. You know, I always like to let the game come to me. I have noticed, you know, my shooting hasn't been as well over the past, I think it's like 5-6 game stretch. You know, I'm still gonna keep shooting it, just, you know, stay confident in that. But you know, I feel like I've been able to bring a lot of other things to the table. You know, as well, like defense. I feel like my defense has been really on point these last few games, as well as, you know, just my effort. I've been able to, you know, ramp that up a little bit more. Back from when we, you know, had that break, that COVID break. So there's some of those things that I've been able to, you know, bring to the table, which whatever helps the team, you know, I'm willing to do. But, you know, hopefully with consistent reps and work every day, that shooter will get back on point too.
What's it been like, we talked a lot in the preseason, all the size that you have, and kind of working in that rotation with Zed and with EJ and Joey, just kind of figuring out roles and seeing how that, has that progressed kind of how you thought it would this season, as far as everyone kind of finding their lane to contribute?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard to tell, you know, how it would turn out, but you know, that still could be changing, you know, leading up until March. You know, especially, you know, trying to find like a good, you know, however many guy rotation, you know, coach wants to use, or, you know, however many guys it's going to be, because, you know, you could have somebody, you know, from what I've seen in the past, like my experience, you could have somebody that hasn't played that many minutes up until this point, and then they really have their breakout moment, you know, and start playing a lot. So I think it could still be changing, but yeah.
And you talked about back to the sort of player-led locker room thing. You mentioned like paying attention to guys when you were younger. Who were some of those guys on some of those early teams that you took notes from?
Yeah, I mean, so freshman year would have been like JT and Kada. You know, I learned a lot from them, playing behind both of them. You know, just work ethic. You know, what needs to be brought to the table every day, every game. You know, both players that, you know, have excelled in the game. So those are just two early examples, but you know, I learned a lot from those guys, and even like guys like CJ Jackson, you know, and those guys as well. So I've been, you know, blessed to be around a lot of good players in my career that have, you know, taught me a lot of good things.
I guess specifically about Iowa, I know they're one of the most, they're a high tempo team. You know, they move you fast, and I'm wondering, I guess, especially with 2 games in 3 days, like, what is that? How do you prepare for that, and then how do you kind of, I mean, move past it, like, to be able to focus on Indiana with such a quick turnaround? What's kind of that approach?
Yeah, you know, just we've been preparing. You know, it starts in practice, kind of looking at, you know, how they're going to play us, and you know, they're one of the better offensive teams, so they're going to get out and run and move, and you know, we have to be ready for that. So leading up till that, you know, like I said, we've been working every day in practice, and then we do have a quick turnaround on Monday. But first, we want to focus on Saturday and, you know, get a good win here at home. Hopefully, we feel like we prepared really well. So
is that something that, I mean, whether it's, you know, you guys are focused on Iowa right now, but in the back of your minds, like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of games left and there's not a lot of time. Are you worried about like the wear and tear, or is that something that, you know, the coaches have kind of been, you know, pressing on you guys to make sure your bodies are right for this final stretch, or what has that been like?
I would say we're worried. I mean, we definitely understand like what's coming ahead of us because you know, it's a lot of games. It's just how it is. Like, it's going to be tough on your body regardless. But you know, I think I've mentioned it a lot in the past, is just taking that day-to-day approach, which coach always preaches, will help us, because just focus on the day ahead of you, you know, whether that's taking care of your body, not doing too much on the practice floor, having a hard practice, you know, getting ready for the game, whatever it's going to be, to get us ready for the next game and then go from there. That's all you can really do instead of looking ahead, because then you don't want to get ahead of yourself. So.
One more up, Jack. Looking at Iowa, obviously they have Giga Murray, and he's really kind of come into his own the last couple of games. You know, 5 straight games with more than 20 points, 6 rebounds and more in all those games as well. Just what have you kind of seen from him on film, and you know, what do you think you'll need to do to kind of slow him down?
Yeah, I mean, from everything I've seen this year, he's an incredible player. You know, kind of all-around guy, shoots it, drives it, you know, rebounds the ball well, defends. You know, so he's their guy, and you know, they got a lot of good players as well. But you know, we have had to focus a lot of our attention with Scout, you know, on him, knowing what he can do. But it's going to be, you know, a team effort again. You know, defensively, I think that's our key moving forward with every game. It's just how well we lock in defensively as a team, regardless of, you know, who they have. But you know, he's been incredible for them this year, and you know, we're excited for this matchup on